Hey guys, welcome back to Texas Home Loan Hustle. It's been a while. I hope all has been well. But before I get started, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Anyway, there's just been so many updates, so many things going on. And honestly, I have a lot I need to catch you guys up on. But today I want to talk about something that honestly surprised me myself, okay? Something that I experienced a couple months ago, and then it came back up again recently. And it has to do with HELOCs in Texas, okay? So a couple months ago, I had a client that had an investment property and they wanted to get a HELOC against that property. I remember talking to account reps, lenders, different companies, and everybody was saying, yeah, we do HELOCs. Yeah, we offer that. Yeah, no problem. And next thing you know, once the conversation got deeper and they realized it was Texas and an investment property, the whole conversation started changing. Now at the time I got sick, had some things going on personally, so I kind of stepped away from it and wasn't able to fully finish researching it the way I wanted to. Fast forward to now, and I recently had another conversation with another investor, and this time the conversation came up again specifically about getting a HELOC on an investment property here in Texas. So today we're going to talk about that. Because this came from real conversations I had while working with investors. This is not just internet talk. This is not just something I Googled one night. This came from actual lender calls, actual account reps, actual conversations trying to get these deals done. So this particular borrower wanted to take equity out of his investment property using a HELOC. Pretty standard strategy in most states, right? The goal was simple. Pull equity from one property. Use that money to help leverage into another investment property. Honestly, a lot of investors do this all over the country. So naturally I thought, okay, this shouldn't be too difficult. But once we started really getting into the lender conversations, something weird kept happening. Everybody would market HELOCs. Everybody would say they do HELOCs. But then once Texas and investment property got brought into the same sentence, suddenly it became, oh, we only do primary residences. Oh, not in Texas. Oh, we don't do investment property HELOCs. Oh, we can maybe do a closed-end second instead. And I started realizing, wait a minute, this is not just one lender. This is an entire pattern. So I started digging deeper because honestly I wanted to understand, is this actually illegal in Texas? Is there a Texas law against this? Or are lenders just avoiding it? And what I found was actually really interesting. Everybody would say they do HELOCs. What I found out is that no, Texas HELOCs are not illegal. Actually, this no actually law against. If I'm wrong, please comment and correct. Here's the problem in Texas. Texas has some of the strictest home equity laws in the country. A lot of it comes from Texas constitutional protections around home equity lending and homestead lending. Now, technically, Texas does allow HELOCs, but here's where it gets tricky. The way Texas structures home equity lending, lien positions, compliance requirements, disclosures, and equity rules makes a lot of lenders nervous, especially when you start talking about investment properties, DSCR-style loans, second liens, and revolving lines of credit. So what's happening is many lenders are simply avoiding the product altogether in Texas, not necessarily because it's completely illegal, but because the compliance and overlays become more complicated than what many lenders want to deal with. And honestly, this is where the confusion starts happening online, because people keep hearing Texas doesn't allow it. But technically, that's not the full story. What's really happening is the market itself has shifted. Instead of traditional HELOCs, many lenders are now offering HELOANs, fixed second mortgages, DSCR second liens, or closed-end equity loans. So if you're an investor in Texas and you've been trying to find a HELOC and keep getting shut down, trust me, you're probably not crazy. I literally spent time calling around myself and ran into the exact same thing. And honestly, I think this conversation matters even more right now because so many investors are sitting on low interest rates from years ago. They don't want to refinance their first mortgage. They just want to access equity. But in Texas, that process becomes a whole lot more complicated than people realize. So the biggest takeaway from today's video is this. Texas didn't completely ban investor property equity lending. The market simply adapted around Texas compliance challenges, and now many lenders are replacing traditional HELOCs with fixed second mortgages and alternative equity products instead. So before building your entire investment strategy around what you hear online, make sure you understand how Texas actually works, because Texas lending definitely plays by its own rules. All right, guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Texas Home Loan Hustle, because we're going to continue having real conversations about lending, investing, self-employed borrowers, real estate strategies, and what's really happening in this market. And if you've personally run into this HELOC issue in Texas, drop it in the comments, because honestly, I'd love to hear your experience too. I'll see you guys in the next video.